We'll be like fire and ice, steam throughout the darkest night. Hold me in your dreams. Let's take it to an extreme. For so long, you've been in my mind. I look in your eyes, mine in yours. So calm on.
Hello, Bolingbrook. Today I would like to introduce you a very amazing lady. Her name is Nancy Hansen. Hello, Nancy Hansen.
Hi, Ali. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Great. Doing really good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
How long have you been involved with music?
Since about 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3 years old. My parents got me this little plastic piano set in the corner. They had some friends over, and I picked up by ear the tune way back there, Dr. Zhivago, Lara's theme. And I picked that up and started playing it, and they were quite amazed. And so then eventually, through life, they got me some mundane, regular, some piano lessons, but nothing really big. And then one day my mom went to the store, and while she was at the store, my dad taught me Moonlight Sonata on the piano. But at that point, my great-grandparents had got me a real piano. And in 45 minutes, I learned Moonlight Sonata. So they said, wow, she's got a talent. We need to get her into music. So yeah, it started at 3.
Oh, very nice. Amazing.
Thanks.
So how did this CD come about? I heard a lot of special story behind that. So what was that?
Yeah, it was really kind of fascinating. My mom and I were working on a DVD of Chicago, and we were using a company called Disc Makers. So you're familiar with them. And they had a wonderful meet and greet opportunity where everybody comes, and then the door prize was that you win a CD package. They'll do your CD for you, complete the cellophane, barcode, everything. And when Mom saw the ad, she said to me, "This is it. This is where you're going to get your CD published," because we were always trying to figure out how we were going to get it published. I said, "Oh, Mom, So we went, and I brought my friend Mary, and I also brought my friend Jay, who was a bass guitarist at the time, whose parents owned a studio that I'll get into a little bit later. And so we went to this party, and they passed around the hat, and my friend was the one, they picked her to draw the name, and she pulled my name. And I was
amazing.
like, no, put it back, we're not ready, because you had to do the CD within 6 weeks. And I said, the band hasn't been together since a decade. So we said, sure, thank you. We left, and then we went to Monk's Pub. It's a wonderful pub down in Chicago on Illinois. On Lake, that's right, on Lake, under the tracks. And so we sat in Monk's Pub, and we talked about it all, and my bass guitarist was like, we can do it. We can get the band back together. We can sound just like the Blues Brothers, So we said, all right, and we did, and we got the band back together that we had originally cut all these songs with. And in 6 weeks, we produced this CD.
Oh,
but
amazing.
We produced it at Earwax Studios, which is in Yorkville, and we had to master it in the Spot studio, which is in Indiana. So on the very last night of the deadline, in a blizzard, we went from Yorkville to Indiana to finish the CD and master it, and that was
So you went for Indiana to master that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to go. Yeah, my friend Pistol Pete, who is also on the CD, he's a phenomenal rock guitarist and blues musician. He was a friend of the gentleman who owns the Spot. And so John Huber. So we went there, and that is an awesome place if you ever get a chance to record there. Yeah, they're both really wonderful studios.
Oh, very nice. Amazing.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So as you were saying, what different things about the CD. The fun thing was we, won the CD, but they wanted $450 to do the cover. So in one night I learned Photoshop. I did the cover, I did the back. My mom shot me because I can't take a picture of me. So we did the cover, I pumped up the gain to get the look, and I did the cover, the inside. We did the credits and this collage. The first time I'd ever done Photoshop. So, we've given you pictures so you can be showing them on the screen. And then the back, I did this whole CD cover myself. And actually, funny enough, I'm more proud about the cover of the CD than I am of the music itself. But yeah, thank you for asking.
So on the first song, The Memories, you wrote your song on, and you made that video also, and you composed that also, right?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. So what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, where I go is up in northern Wisconsin,
Okay.
on an Indian reservation. And I spend my summers there. I do a lot of video work. We have a friend who owns a resort there. We've been on the lake for 5 generations. My great-grandparents bought like a quarter of the lake way back in the 20s. And the resort at the end of the lake was also basically there. And so for 5 generations, our family had been on that lake, and I actually, as I grew up, I thought these people were my family, but they were really our friends. And I got to work with my friend Jay, like I told you, he's a bass guitarist. His parents have a music studio, and like I said, their son Robin owned Earwax Studios. Well, Guy and Donna Shelley are also in a band called Generator X, and they're very, very familiar here in Bolingbrook, and I got to work with them on the CD. So that was just so much fun because they're so professional, and we just whipped out that song Memories in one afternoon in their studio.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was really great. It was a great experience. But then when I mixed the video, I really paid homage to John, a friend of ours who owned the resort at the end of the lake, because we had been together for our whole lives. And everybody that comes into this resort has been there forever, for decades and decades, and it's just like one large family. And so really this next song is an homage to his resort and all of my friends and family up in the Lac de Flambeau area. Eventually I think I'm going to redo this video with clips of my own life and my own experiences with the different bands and people locally. But the video you're about to see is pretty much all about the Lac de Flambeau area of Wisconsin.
Okay, good.
It's memories that make us strong. And it's memories that last so long. Don't you know? It's memories that fill the cup of life.
So the next song, Cry of the Wolf,
Right.
you said it ties into the last piece. So what was the story behind that?
Well, as you can tell, it's an Indian piece. It's an Indian flute. As
Okay.
you can hear the tones. And I started playing the flute, like you're hearing.
Okay.
And Pistol Pete, again, this was all done in his studio.
Okay.
And then you can hear, he just gets on the keyboards and he just started. We just hit record and we went. This was all done in one take.
Wow,
I really
amazing.
love New Age music. New Age
Okay.
music is a passion of mine.
Right.
And Pete is not known for New Age music. Those of you who know him, he is not a New Age artist. So this was wonderful. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a stretch for him because he's just an amazing artist. But he did the keyboards and I did the flute, and we did it in one take. That was it. Yeah, and then we came back and added a little extra special effects, but nothing really big. And when I originally was getting the feeling for this song, I am feeling the Northwoods and the Lac de Flambeau area and all of the friends that I have up there. So every time I play the song, I feel the song, my heart is just pulling from the Indian village. I assume there's some clips that will be showing there are the Indian village that Nick Hawking, he headed the Indian troop that we brought here to Bolingbrook. A lot of people in Bolingbrook saw the Indian troop that came here, American Indian. And Nick Hawking unfortunately passed away this last year with cancer. And so I'm so glad that we were able to bring him here. And every time I think of this piece, I think of Nick Hawking. And so when this piece, why it ties into the other one, was the American Indian feel that you can get as you're listening to this piece. And the peace that you feel inside yourself when you feel it, that's the same feeling that you get when you're in that Lac de Flambeau
Very nice.
area. It is just so earth. There's so Mother Earth. You can't deny it.
So is that true? There was no any rehearsal, there was no any retake?
No,
Amazing.
we just did it. We just wung it right from the beginning. We just off the
So
cuff.
can you do a little perform for about that?
You mean to perform the song?
Yes.
Well, I could get the flute and I could play it and everything, but it just wouldn't be like you're hearing now because it was all of the moment.
Right.
Yeah, it was of
But
the
I
moment.
want to listen some lyrics, like a little.
Lyrics?
Yes.
Well, there wasn't any lyrics when we wrote it, but I'll tell you what, I could maybe make something else and come back up on your show again.
Oh yes, why not? Okay.
Okay. We could do that.
Good. Good.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you are very passionate about the next song. So what is the story behind that? It's up to you.
The story behind this next song,
Yes.
we're killing our planet. Okay? Yes. That is
Oh.
what this song sets me on fire because our politicians are not being held accountable. They say
Okay.
whatever they want when they're running for office, and then I think when they get the office, they should just keep running, okay? Because they don't say what they say they're going to do, and people need to be accountable. People need to get the numbers of their congressmen and representatives, and when they don't do what they say they're going to do, they need to get on the phone, a blog, and they need to go after these politicians and say, hey, this is not what you said you're going to do. Because the lobbyists, the oil tycoons, and the polluters, the coal factories, and I got a real problem with this coal factory over here in Romeoville, because they did not have scrubbers. Scrubbers are like a big filter that they put in the chimneys. Now, this is a coal factory, right? Now,
Right,
all the
right.
mercury and all the lakes that are popping up here in the fish
Right.
is from the coal factories. Now, they said because they were grandfathered, they did not have to have scrubbers in their chimneys.
Right.
Well, they just sold it, okay,
Oh my God.
to a company in California. And somebody paid somebody off because they didn't put the scrubbers in the chimneys, okay? And
Right.
so now we're sitting here right next to all these big factories that are spewing out all this stuff, and there's no scrubbers in there because of some greased palm, okay? But our lungs aren't greased. We're
Right.
taking all of this in. And the song, I know if I tear up while I'm singing this, I apologize. I just can't sing this song without being emotional because we are all, I don't care what color you are, I don't care what religion you are, I don't care what your background is, we're all breathing the same air. And your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, don't these people care? You know, other countries, they think, well, nobody's immune. You know, if the country next to you is doing something, you're going to suffer. And people are too selfish to not buy this gas and buy this gas that may care. We're putting pipelines in water. You can't control that when you have a spill, and you can't really sufficiently cap it off. Okay, when you have a spill in the ocean, forget it. You can't, you know, they still say, okay, we all can't prove it, but they still say that spill in the Gulf is still going. They won't let anybody get near it to prove it. Isn't that funny? But when you have an oil spill on land, okay, I mean, you know, but you can control it, but not in the water. So what are we doing? And now we're putting in a pipeline. Yes, this song is very passionate to me because, you know, another century, we won't be here.
You already became so emotional about
Did I?
it. Yeah.
Did I get hostile? Yeah, thanks, but it's
So
true.
it means you have very, very, very good nature also.
Oh, it's
It
for
means
everybody.
you have very,
isn't
very
it?
good nature also.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's just life.
Yeah, right. You are right.
You know, it's just everybody's breathing
Wow.
opportunity.
Amazing.
You know.
Yes.
I used to have a show on local cable access called Mother Earth.
Okay.
And that's where I learned a lot of this. I had people coming from all over the state and other states to come and tell me a lot of these things that is happening. So it's not hearsay. You know, I was hearing a lot of this, lobbyists coming up from Springfield and everything. And one of the other things I discovered was medications. You know, when you have medications or something that you don't finish all the way, there's no real good way to throw them away. You don't want to put them down the drain. You don't want to put them in the toilet. They end back up in the water. And then Walgreens and then Lilly and all of the drug companies that are happy to take the money and put them out there aren't happy to take them back. I think we should be able to take our drugs back to Walgreens or anybody who's peddling them, and they should be the ones who dissolve them properly. We shouldn't have to figure out a way to dissolve them because, again, like I said, people are selfish and lazy. They're going to just toss it in the landfills and it ends back up in our water. So there needs to be a system. The people who are putting out the pollutants need to be the ones to take it back. The paint manufacturers, all of the people who produce the film, all of the people who produce these things need to be the ones who take it back, and there needs to be a check system to make sure that they're dissolving them properly.
All right.
I just really wanted to add that in. Thank you for
Nancy,
giving me that
one
opportunity.
personal question. Do you like politics?
I'm glad that we have the kind of country that we can have politics, that we're allowed to speak about it. I don't like the dirty politics.
Okay.
I think we have a problem with the lobbyist system. You know, I think politicians should take a vow of poverty. Then we can see really what happens. You know, do you really want to get into government for the heart of it, or are you in it for the money? You know what I'm saying? I think I just slapped my microphone. Sorry if I busted anybody's ears. But you know what I'm saying? Politicians, it's great to be able to be one.
Do you want to participate in that?
I don't think I'd be politically correct enough. I think I'll stick to writing songs.
Right. Okay, good.
Tell me what you think you're gonna do. Skies turning gray. Wanna live to breathe another day. As I cross the deep dark valley of embedded industries, I can see the cloud horizon of 100 factories. Can't you see how the leaves are turning brown? Can't you see a solution must be found? There's something you can do. Talk to an angel's calling while the leaves are falling. The sky is burning while the world is turning. Drink the wine taken from the vine. I said, what you gonna do when the sun shines? The suburban sprawling, overhauling, oil spilling, and the habitat killing. People need to know there's a way to go. I said, what you gonna do with the overflow? And then, as I cross the deep dark valley of embedded industries, I can see the not taking nature's warning seriously. All along, we knew what was right from wrong. All along, they're singing the same old
So, who inspired you about your next song, Steel of Cowboys?
Steel Cowboys. Yeah, I'll tell you who inspired this one. The beautiful men and women who heartlessly work all day, all night, and do nothing but deliver our goods. The truckers. I wrote the song going down to Rantoul for my grandfather's birthday.
Oh.
And we were going down and just looking at the truckers, and they're driving, just hard, they're just piling through night and day.
Right.
And I thought of the song, and I just thought, our country would not be what it is today if it wasn't for the truckers. If everything crashed, you know who's going to be around tomorrow to help us get back together? It's going to have to be the truckers. They move everything from one point to the other, to the people who grow the vegetables, to the people who need them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And in writing the song, I have a friend who's a trucker, and I said, hey, Barry, I need your help, because I wanted this trucker blast at the end of the song. This didn't turn out exactly like I liked. We went and stood underneath the Lamont Bridge and had him come drive his truck through there, blaring the horn. But it's so funny because in the song, I say from Texas to Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And when I got a hold of Barry, he was in Texas, and he was getting ready to run a load to Chicago.
Oh,
and he said,
nice.
I can be up your way and I can help you out. So when he came up, we took some shots and I did the horn, and I got some shots for my video that I may do someday on the song. So from Texas to Chicago really came to life in this video. And so I wrote the song heading down to Rantoul, but then I also wrote a movie that goes with it.
Oh, very
And we wrote
nice.
that one on our way heading up to the Monaco Lac de Flambeau area. I wrote a movie. Mom and I both collaborated on this movie that brings Steel Cowboys to life. But Steel Cowboys, back in the old days, that's what, that's how you got your mail. That's how you got, it was the cowboys that moved through. And these days, they're just the same, only driving their modern four-in-hand, which a four-in-hand is what you used to call the stagecoach. You had 4 horses in hand, and that's what they called the four-in-hand. And so my song is your Steel Cowboys, but this time you just, instead of the four-in-hand, you got your semi.
Very nice.
And
Very nice.
that's how that came about.
Amazing, amazing,
It
Nancy.
was fun, though. It
You
was,
are
it was
amazing,
great.
actually.
Oh, no.
Yes.
It's just God given.
Right.
He gave me the talent. Thank you.
Driving across the country, just you and that black night. Hoping around the bend you'll find someone to hold you tight. Lonely job that you gotta get through if you want it to come out right. You're the blood of the nation, heroes of the night. You may not know where you'll be tomorrow, but you'll be there for a friend. You're a free floating spirit, and your love lies in the wind. Say the price of the toy separates the boys from the men. No, we need you as much today as we did way back when, 'cause you are Steel Cowboys, doing what you enjoy. You're the spirit of the land, driving your modern four-in-hand, 'cause you are Steel Cowboys, playing with bigger toys, riding that asphalt trail, listen to that wind wail. You and I know what you've been through on that lonesome trip you're on, trying to stay awake on that dotted line, making up for time that's gone, being hypnotized by those wiper blades or the headlights through the haze. Desert storms or icy roads can stop you from your days. We're a nation of movers, from cattle to cargo, moving east, moving west, Texas to Chicago, passing through and moving on. Won't you play that song again? It's been in your blood since the day you were born. Do you say your last amen? 'Cause you are Steel Cowboys, doing what he enjoys. Spirit of the land, driving your modern four-in-hand. 'Cause you are Steel Cowboys, playing with bigger toys, riding that asphalt trail, listen to that wind wail.
So, how do you write? You write music
Fine,
first
thank you.
or
No, I
the
couldn't
lyrics?
resist. Okay. The music or the lyrics first?
Yes.
It really all depends on the moment. The song, I think the next song coming up is Promises, right?
Right.
Yeah, Promises, I actually wrote, and it's kind of funny, I wrote the tune first, and the chorus I wrote, about 10 years ago, and I wasn't able to record it when I heard the chorus in my head, and I lost it. And I was so
Oh my
disappointed because I wasn't able to record it at the time, and I was humming it, and I lost it. And a decade later, the song, the tune came back, and all of a sudden that chorus, that tune came in, and I was like, yeah, and I wrote Promises in the Wind. But sometimes the lyrics come first. It just really depends on the moment. If something strikes me, and I'll write the poem or the subject matter first, and then I'll fill in the tune later. So it just all depends. So it's both.
So, do you ever try to do a rhyming poetry?
Yeah, well, most of the song, and sometimes I back myself into a corner with them, and that's a good question, because a lot of times, yes, I get stuck into rhyming, and sometimes, you rhyme like every other verse or every fourth verse, and sometimes I really get myself into rhyme myself into a corner, because I'll have like the first verse rhyme with the third verse, and the second verse rhyme with the fourth verse, and then I have that pattern going, and I have to keep it going through the whole song, and that begins to be quite a task. So, but yeah, I usually like the rhyming, but lately I'm getting into some stuff that I'm trying to break away from that rhyming format, because it gets too constricting.
So, any nice words for my viewers?
Oh, nice? I don't know about nice, but how about poignant?
Yeah,
I'll think of something that we're not doing here today. Let's say out of Crossroads. Crossroads, it's a political piece.
Okay.
It says something about the almighty dollar. The people like sheep they were led, not to the land of milk and honey,
Very nice.
but to the valley of the damned and the
Amazing.
dead.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Very nice.
You know,
Very
money's what's killing us. You know, money can save us, and it's what's killing us. It's kind of crazy.
Absolutely right.
It's the love of money that is
But
the root of all
the
evil.
reality of present time is a different one,
Yeah, but you can use money. Just don't be so greedy that there's enough in the world for everybody's need, but not enough for everybody's greed.
Amazing. Very nice. Very nice. You are right, Nancy.
Thanks. Just repeating what I've always heard.
Yes.
How about your grandma?
So where you get that inspiration for the song Promises in the Wind? Wow, amazing. It's a philosophical words you used in that word.
Yeah, don't build your castles in the sand, and don't build your promises in the wind. Yeah, it's a very deep song. That's a deep song. I think almost everybody goes through. What my personal reference was to that, I'll never tell. But but everybody's got the heartbreak.
Right.
And it's. You think one thing, you go into a relationship, it's exciting, it's brand new, it's just, earth-shaking. And then it's just as earth-shaking when it falls apart. Your whole life just seems to break apart before you, and everything that you thought isn't. What you think is up is down, and it can upset your whole life, when you have a love and it just turns out not to be what you thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I think, my grandma used to always give me a hard time. Nancy, why don't you ever write any happy songs, And until recently, except for Bob Marley, the great Bob Marley with, don't worry, be happy. Except for that song, happy doesn't really sell.
Right,
Everybody writes about heartbreak and everything, of course, until that recent song about, 'cause I'm happy, Okay, we'll give that an excuse. But yeah, most songs, because when people are tormented, they're hurting. And they want to relate and know that someone else feels that same way. Oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that's been tried like that or played like that. So I think really when you write I know very close people who've gone through a divorce and said Neil Diamond helped him through it, maybe that and a little Kahlua, So it's heartbreak, heart and sex sells, unfortunately, sadly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely right.
Not to break my
So, do you want to give any suggestion for the new artists, or do you want to give any?
Like a suggestion of somebody coming up?
Yes,
Yeah.
like the new talent.
Be real. You know, be real. Speak from here. Don't worry about how you look, how you sound, what you're doing. Just come from the heart. Come from what inspired you to do that song, and just write about it, whether it rhymes, whether it doesn't. You know, worry about all that later. Just get it out. Get it on paper. You know, the rest will fall into place if it's meant to be. You know, I know that's my advice at this point.
So, ever anybody ask you to write for him or her?
You know, actually, no. I've never like written lyrics for anybody else. You know, though, actually, yeah. My one of my doctors had a situation, and he asked me to write a song. I'm in the process of that right now.
Okay.
Writing a song for him, but not for him to sing. You know, but I don't know if that's what you meant or not. It's just for him, for his life.
So you charge for that, or you just doing
But he's
free?
my doctor, so
Okay.
you know.
Right.
He's helped me out. I'll help him out.
So if
you know,
someone new, he want to get something from you
You know.
as a lyrics position, so you are going to charge him, or how much? What you think
No.
for?
I would do it for him for free.
Okay,
Yeah, no, he's just done. He's a homeopath, and he has just helped me through amazing things without drugs, without the use of chemicals. Homeopathy is just the most. Well, you're probably familiar with homeopathy, being from
Right,
Pakistan. Western medicine really kind of frowns on it. They think it's weird and different, but homeopathy trains your immune system to heal itself. And so one of my main physicians, you know, he is a homeopath, and so he has done so much for me. I would be glad to be able to finish the song for him for nothing. You know, he's saved my life probably.
Good. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So which kind of food do you like? Like
Food
yes.
besides lobster?
Yes.
Pizza.
Okay.
There you go. You have it. Lobster, pizza. Those are my two favorite foods.
So you know how to cook
I
food
can only
also?
afford one of them. I'm sorry?
You know how to cook food also?
Oh, I'm an excellent cook.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
So would you please explain about Tempress of the Midnight Sun?
That was kind of a unique experience. My friend Pistol Pete,
Okay.
he wrote a few songs. He wrote the music. This
Okay.
time I did not do the music. He did the
Okay.
music. You know, like we collaborated on Cry of the Wolf. He did the music for Temptress of the Midnight Sun, and I put in the lyrics. And again, we didn't do too many takes. We did it in one day. You know, we definitely did it in one day. And unfortunately, I kind of think everybody knows somebody like this character. You know, she's a real Jezebel. And, you know, it's just the song is about forewarning somebody, saying, hey, you know, it feels like, you know, there's just no resisting. And then when the song says there's no resisting, that doesn't mean there's no resisting. That's how you feel when the siren has got you in her power, you know. And it's just something, you know, I feel real sorry for men, because women can be real vixens, you know.
Right.
And they can be real temptresses, sirens as it is. And that's what the song, I guess, is just kind of saying, hey, you know, look out. And I got the feeling, I love the Middle Eastern feel, and I have some other songs in the future that I'm working on, we'll talk about later maybe, but I love the Middle Eastern feeling. And so this song just sprung out. I wrote it in an hour, you know, a couple hours, yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, it took us a few takes, you know, because you can hear, I've overlaid my voice many, many times in
Right.
it, so yeah, it took some time.
Very nice. Good. So this is another group
Oh,
you
yes.
played with, right? So you wrote God's Will, right? So can you please explain about that?
Oh, yeah.
What was the experience about that?
I was in church, Maundy
Okay.
Thursday service, which is right before Good Friday, and it was a very powerful service. Everybody leaves the church, all the lights are down low, and you don't talk. When on Maundy Thursday, you walk out quiet and somber, and this tune was welling up in me. And when I got outside, it just sprung forth, and I just felt this, go tell it on the mountain. And it was originally a blues song, really heavy blues. And my friend Nedra Groggins and her mate Achman Sage, wonderful, wonderful people.
Right.
We met in the parking lot. We're all in the same church, and we started talking in the parking lot, and I kind of started rolling the song off of him, and
Okay.
she said, oh, this is fantastic. So we got a few friends together, and my friend Jay on bass, and like I said, Nedra and Achman and Jimmy Akopani. He's another musician, local musician, and we all got together, and one thing led to another, and we formed this little tiny intermediate band for a small period called, we just got together just
Oh,
cause.
very nice, very nice.
So we played some festivals, played a festival, and then we went into Dan Ryan was his name, not after the highway. I think he thinks his highway is named after him, but no, I'm kidding. He's a wonderful
Okay.
gentleman. And so we went into his studio and we recorded a whole CD. Everybody did their own song, and so I wrote God's Will, and so they helped me perform it.
Oh, very nice, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, that was great fun. It was just a wonderful group of musicians to work with I'd never worked with before.
Very good, very nice.
Go tell it on the mountain. Go and preach it from that hill. Go and tell those people everywhere that we've gotta make it God's will. Go tell it on the mountain. Go and preach it from that hill. Go and tell those people everywhere that we've got
So, what is your future plans?
Oh, rich, famous, no.
Yeah.
No, wouldn't that be nice?
Wish you best of luck for that.
Thanks.
Really.
Yeah, well, I just really want to make an impact.
Right.
I really do. If I passed away tomorrow, I'm good with that. Life is what it is. You are where you are, and you have to be grateful for every moment that you had. What I hope I can do is open some doors and open some ideas and pass on some solutions.
Right.
To maybe make the future better.
Right.
As far as my music, I'm going into more blues, a little gospel. I really like the Middle Eastern feeling. I'm working on some new stuff, more high-powered, more really, my voice has developed a lot more recently than the songs I've written. So I'm hoping in the future to get into some more high-powered, and again, just stay as deep as I can, because it's really all about the words. It's not about
Again,
it's not
wish
about
you
the
best
artist.
of luck for that.
It's it's not about the artist. It's about what the message is.
All right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Well, thank you so much.
It was really, really fun to talk to you.
This has been so fun.
And thank you so
yes.
much for coming in our show.
Oh, well, thank you. And, thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for
and-
watching us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
You treat me like